Good morning. My name is Roger Upham. My pronouns are he, him, and I am a member of our board of directors. Welcome to White Bear Unitarian Universalist Church. We are a community of youth, adults, and children with many diverse theologies, held together by covenant, not creed. Together we share the values of courage, reverence, and compassion. May you know deep welcome and belonging in this place. We encourage that you welcome by asking everyone to wear a name tag and have a small moment of greeting with your neighbors. Let's do that now. To share a request for today's meditation, please place it in the chat box before the opening hymn or add it to the meditation bowl. The meditation bowl is in the Soul Work Center over here on this side with some activities to help people of all ages engage with today's service. Our annual service auction is taking place this Saturday, December 2nd, and here are a few quick bullet point announcements. Tickets for the dinner for this Saturday are nearly sold out. If you plan to come to the dinner, the auction team needs your registration as soon as humanly possible. Bidding is open for nearly 200 items in the auction catalog. You'll find a huge variety of things to bid on: outings, art pieces, jewelry, shared dinners, handcraft goods, and a lot more. Bid early to get a good deal and an early start on your holiday shopping. The event is going to have activities for all ages and a special auctioneer. You won't want to miss it. We hope to see you then. Welcome to our church. Together we grow our souls and serve the world in love.
I am the spark that glows in you, a warmth you felt before.
I am the voice that grows in you, a sound you can't ignore.
I believe in you and believe in you, a melody sure and strong. Bring me your stars, bring me your sunshine, bring me your pouring rain. Bring me your tears, bring me your laughter, bring me your joy and pain. What is found in you, what resides in you, has been held in for far too long.
Time to breathe me into the world.
I am song.
I am the hope that springs in you, an ever-flowing stream.
I am the truth that brings in you, a plea, a prayer, a dream. I believe in you and will weave in you, a melody sure and strong. Bring me your stars, bring me your sunshine, bring me your pouring rain. Bring me your tears, bring me your laughter, bring me your joy and pain. What is found in you, what resides in you, has been held for too long. Time to breathe me into the world. I am soul. I am truth. I am hope. I am soul. I am truth. I am hope. I am warmth. I am truth. I am hope. I am soul.
I'm Reverend Jack, and my pronouns are he, him. Come in. Come into this place which we make holy by our presence. Come in with all your vulnerabilities and strengths, fears and anxieties, loves and hopes. For here you need not hide, nor pretend, nor be anything other than who you are and who you are called to be. Come into this place where we can touch and be touched, heal and be healed, forgive and be forgiven. Come into this place where the ordinary is sanctified, the human is celebrated, the compassionate is expected. Come into this place. Together we make it a holy place.
Starhawk is an activist, a leader in the eco-feminist movement, and a Unitarian Universalist. Her book, The Spiral Dance, is one of my sacred texts. I learned about Starhawk through my work with the UUA curriculums, Cakes for the Queen of Heaven, and Rise Up and Call Her Name. Deborah and I had the honor of hosting her in our home when she came to preach and put on a workshop for our church in Pennsylvania. She says this about community. Religion has always been a prime source of community, and a vital function of feminine spirituality is to create new networks of involvement. Community also implies broader issues of how equitably power, wealth, and opportunities are shared among different groups, and the issues of who cares for children, the aged, the sick, and the disabled. When the divine becomes immanent in the world, these are all areas of spiritual concern. We need to ask, what are the interests of the most oppressed, and how can we serve them? For if we are all interconnected parts of the body of the goddess, then pain, no matter how small or how far away in some measure, is felt by us all. May we truly come to see the interconnected web of life, that it is just not our relationship to nature, but to each other as well.
My name is Nico, and my pronouns are they, them. Join me in the opening words. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Rise in body or in spirit. For our opening hymn, we gather together, number 349 in the gray hardcover hymnal. This morning's story is adapted from A Lamp in Every Corner by Janine K. Groschmeyer. Many years ago, in the land of Transylvania, in a mountain valley watered by quick rushing streams and shadowed by great forests of beech trees, there was a village of small wooden houses with dark shingled roofs. The people in the village were of the Unitarian religion, and they wanted a church of their own, set on the hillside looking down upon the village. So all the people of the village labored long and hard to build themselves a church. And there were some differences between that church and this one, but listen for some similarities too. The stonemasons for that church in Transylvania hammered sharp chisels to cut great blocks of gray stone, then set the stones into stout and sturdy walls. The foresters sawed tall beech trees into enormous beams and laid the trusses for the ceiling, then covered the roof with close-fitting wooden shingles that wouldn't leak a drop of rain. The carpenters carved wood for the pair of wide opening doors, setting them on strong pegs so that the doors hung straight and square. A bell was brought from a faraway city, then hoisted by ropes with a heave and a hoe to the top of the tower. The smiths hammered black iron into tall lampstands, and hammered thin bronze into shining oil lamps. The painters mixed bright colors, and everyone in the village, old and young, came to decorate their church. And at the end of the day, when it was finished, when their church was finally done, all the people in the village stood back to admire it. They sang a song of joy, then each returned to their homes for supper. One little girl named Zora and her father stayed behind with a picnic dinner. They ate their food slowly, sitting on the grass on the hillside and admiring their new church with its strong stone walls, its tall tower, and its magnificent bell. After they had eaten, they went back inside, opening those carved wooden doors to go into the gloriously painted sanctuary inside. How grand it was. But Father, Zora said suddenly, we haven't finished. What do you mean? Well, there are tall iron lampstands all along the walls, but there are no lamps. The church will be dark when the people come back. Ah, no, little one, said her father. The light of the church comes from its people. You shall see. He rang the bell to call the people to worship, then took his daughter by the hand and led her back outside. They waited on the grassy hillside next to their beautiful church of strong gray stone. The sun had set behind the mountains and night was coming soon, yet in the growing darkness, tiny points of light came from many directions and moved steadily up the hill. Each family is entrusted with a lamp, little one, her father explained. Each family lights its own way here. Where is our family's lamp? Your mother is carrying it. She'll be here soon. The many lights moved closer together, gathering into one moving stream, all headed the same way, growing larger and brighter all the time. All around the church, parents lifted children to reach the lamps, and people helped each other bring the church ablaze with light in every corner. All through the worship service, Zora watched the lights flicker and glow. She watched her family's lamp most of all. When the service was over, her father lifted her high. She took the shining bronze lamp from the lampstand. Its curved sides were warm and smooth in her hands. Her mother carried the lamp back home with the flame lighting the way. The lamp flame lit their house when they returned home, and Zora realized that, just like her father had said, the light of the church comes from the people. But also, she said to her mom, the people take their light from the church, and we have that light with us every day. Yes, indeed, said her mother, and even when we are not in church, even when the lamp is not lit, we carry the light of truth in our minds and the flame of love in our hearts to show us the right way to be. That light, the light from truth and love, will never go out. When you are grown, we will give the bronze lamp to you, and when your children are grown, you will make more lamps to give to them, and all of you will carry the light back and forth to church every time. The years passed, Zora grew. The bronze lamp came into her care. She kept it polished and clean, and when the bell rang out across the valley to call the people to worship, she carried the lamp back and forth to the church on the hillside, the flame always lighting her way. When the time came, she made more lamps and gave them to her children, who made even more lamps and gave them to their children. And so it went on through the years, even until today. And as always, the light of truth and the flame of love from that Unitarian church on the hillside continued to grow and to show them and us the way. It is time now to sing our children and youth off to their circles. So please rise in body or in spirit for number 1057 in the teal paperback hymnal.
Today, we get the opportunity to commission our pastoral care team. This team is made up of our pastoral care companions, our card ministry team, our various support group facilitators, and our newly formed support network. I hope that you get the chance to learn more about the pastoral care we provide and even find your own way of giving back to this community of mutual support. The spiritual teacher Ram Dass, who popularized the phrase, "Be here now," once said, "Together we are all on a journey called life. We are a little broken and a little shattered inside. Each one of us is aspiring to make it to the end. Let's just help each other put all those pieces back together and make it to the end more beautifully. Let us help each other survive." Today we consider what it means to be here now, present not only to our own story and experiences, but also to the experiences of others, and the story we create together when we share our experiences in caring and meaningful ways. As I read the names of our pastoral care team, I invite you to come forward and join me up here to receive your commissioning and blessing for the holy work you pledge to do with and among this people. Sharon, Laura, Reggie, Carla, Teresa, Gloria, Joe, Anne, Sharon, Jim, Dana, JJ, Kathleen, Mimi, Jean, Susan, Carol, Cheryl, Peter, Betty, Artis, Marcy, Diana, Meredith, Susan, and Sheila. Over here now. Hello. All of you on this team have agreed to walk with others, to listen with open heart and mind, and to offer your caring presence. Knowing that it will challenge you and change you, you have still said yes. We are grateful. To the best of your ability, do you commit to providing compassionate and supportive presence to this congregation, recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of all? If so, say we do. To the best of your ability, do you commit to listening with open hearts and to maintaining the confidences entrusted to you with tenderness? To the best of your ability, do you commit to modeling grace, patience, hope in times of despair, and the healing power of silence as well as humor? Will the congregation please rise and read the words printed here on the screen? We have heard your promises to us, and we thank you for your commitment, accompanying us on our separate paths, and nurturing a culture of care within our congregation. As a gift and symbol of this commissioning, we present to you these ribbons. You may already have one, and if so, you can skip it. But wear them with pride, so that we can see them and know that you are part of the tapestry of pastoral care here. And also hear one final blessing. Love has no hands to bless the world but ours. Love has no feet to walk alongside another but ours. Love has no eyes to gaze with compassion and kindness but ours. So may we each embody love wherever we go, however we are able. Amen. Please join me for a moment of prayer or meditation. Gathered together as we are here, about 120 people in the room and 40 households on Zoom. Find a comfortable seat, feel your weight supported, relax your shoulders away from your ears, and just take a breath together. We pause to acknowledge the deep joys and profound sorrows that we encounter along the journey through life's forest. The branches of the trees stretch high into the sky, dancing with possibility, and the roots of the trees burrow deep down into the earth, connecting with sustenance and matter, rooted in the places where we've been and growing toward the places where we haven't yet been. We are in tension, connected both with earth and with sky. We know pain and we know hope. We have joys and sorrows, and it is important to name them out loud. What can be named can be managed. Today, our community is holding many people in love and in light. Jonathan Lubin, he is recovering after a successful operation to replace his aortic valve. Prayers of continued recovery and healing are welcome. Terry Houle, her younger sister Sandra, has been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer that has spread to her liver and lungs. She's had 2 rounds of chemo so far. The family of Chuck Pallas. Chuck just entered hospice care. Prayers for his wife Evelyn and for his broader circle of care. May they know comfort as he faces the unknown future. For Brenda and Sandy as they grieve the loss of their mother. For Kate, who went to the ER this morning. For Kathy, recovering from chemo. And for Shelley, recovering from a horse riding accident. And now we add the names of those people on our hearts and in our minds. From out of the stillness and into it, we name them out loud. Knowing that together we can support each other. Our roots are strong. Blessed be and amen. Please remain seated and join me in singing number 402 from the gray hardcover hymnal, From You I Receive. We'll do it 3 times in a round, led by Brett and Jody.
This is the moment of service where we practice gratitude and support in the form of giving to our offering plate. The gifts collected today will go to the support of the mission of this congregation, to grow our souls and to serve the world. There are a couple of ways you can give today. You can use the text to give feature. The number is in your order of service. You can give on the website, or you can place cash or a check in the offertory basket. Thank you for your generosity and your faith in this life we live together. The offering will now be gratefully collected.
When I started down the street last Sunday, feeling mighty low and kind of mean, suddenly a voice said, "Go forth, neighbor, spread the picture on a wider screen." And the voice said, "Neighbor, there's a million reasons why you should be glad in all four seasons. Hit the road, neighbor, leave your worries and strife. Spread the religion of the rhythm of life. For the rhythm of life is a powerful beat, with a tingle in your fingers and a tingle in your feet. Rhythm on the inside, rhythm on the street, and the rhythm of life is a powerful beat. For the rhythm of life is a powerful beat, with a tingle in your fingers and a tingle in your feet. Rhythm on the inside, rhythm on the street, and the rhythm
To feel the tingle in your feet. Go and spread the gospel in Milwaukee. Take a walkie-talkie to Rocky Ridge.
all the way to Canton and to Scranton, even till it under the Manhattan Bridge.
You will make a new sensation, have a growing congregation,
And a growing congregation to belong.
to feel the rhythm of life,
To feel the powerful beat, to feel the tingle in your fingers, to feel the tingle in your feet, to feel the rhythm of life, to feel the powerful beat, to feel the tingle in your fingers, to feel the tingle in your feet. For the rhythm of life is a powerful beat, puts a tingle in your fingers and a tingle in your feet. Rhythm on the inside, rhythm on the street, and the rhythm of life is a powerful beat. For the rhythm of life is a powerful beat, puts a tingle in your fingers and a tingle in your feet. Rhythm on the inside,
tingle in your
rhythm on the street,
fingers,
and the rhythm
to feel the tingle in your
life. Tingle in your life,
tingle in your heart.
rhythm of your life.
This morning's readings are both short and sweet. The first reading is a poem called Scaffolding by Seamus Heaney. Masons, when they start upon a building, are careful to test out the scaffolding, make sure that planks won't slip at busy points, secure all ladders, tighten bolted joints. And yet all this comes down when the job's done, showing off walls of sure and solid stone. So if, my dear, there sometimes seem to be old bridges breaking between you and me, never fear, we may let the scaffolds fall, confident that we have built our wall. The second reading is an excerpt from Reverend Cecilia Kingman. The great Unitarian theologian and ethicist James Luther Adams said often that in order for goodness to triumph, it must be institutionalized. If we are to make changes in the world to create a just society, we must organize ourselves. We must lend our voices to the cause of mercy and peace. We must use all our resources, our energy, our time, and our money to create that society.
Listen, listen, listen to the sound of your breathing. Listen to the waves it makes. Listen to your voice as you're singing. Listen to the space it takes. Listen to your heart as it's beating. Listen as your soul awakes. 'Cause one act of love I know for sure is to listen. Listen to the voices inside you, guiding you to being whole. Listen to the people who see you. They will help you hold your soul. Listen to the ones who oppose you. They can even play a role. 'Cause one act of love I know for sure is to listen. Time is fleeting, there's just so long we remain. So listen deeply, for you might never have that moment to listen again. Every act of love is a mirror, showing us our purest light. Every act of love is a pathway into one another's lives. Every act of love is essential to build a world that survives. And that one act of love I know for sure is to listen. Listen. Listen.
Thank you, Virginia. We found this morning's reading, that poem by Seamus Heaney, a while ago, and I thought it was the perfect description of the way that a strong infrastructure can really support an institution. As it turns out, he wrote this poem for his wife in their first few years of marriage. He was celebrating the fact that they had invested so much time in building the scaffolding around the walls of their relationship that they could begin to let go of the scaffolding. Here and there, a plank might have a hole in it, or worded differently, the two of them might have faced a hardship or made some kind of mistake. But what our poet is saying is that their foundation was strong and secure. I find this analogy somehow reassuring and helpful. At the same time, I believe that we are at a congregational point where we need to focus on the infrastructure and scaffolding that will help us to hold our foundations and walls in place. We're just finishing up the 4th month of our shared ministry with Jessica. And for those of you who remember portaging as my metaphor for interim ministry, the analogy here is that we just embarked on the next lake, and we haven't even seen much of it yet. We are still coming back from a global pandemic that shifted the foundations of many institutions, And it also shifted some of the foundational ways that we interact with each other, with our institutions, our education, our healthcare, and especially with the way that we interact with our digital spaces. For more than a year now, in small conversations and in large ones, I've been talking about this congregation's need to rebuild our infrastructure. So many of our programs and classes and committees were up and running relatively smoothly back in 2019, and as we know, that smoothness abruptly stopped in 2020. Almost everything went on pause or had to be transitioned to a different format, and the church had to ask so many of you who had been contributing your time and your service in specific ways to pause those contributions. Welcome teams weren't needed. Overnight volunteer shifts for Project Home didn't happen. Everything food-related went on hiatus for more than 2 years. But then, during our interim time, we had been slowly rebuilding, trying to shore up our welcome teams again, finding ways to re-engage with volunteer opportunities in our local communities. We've also jumped back into using our kitchen with the hope of fostering deep community connections in this multi-generational setting through the breaking of bread. And I've seen this work of building scaffolding as I've been talking with some of you. I've seen some of you come to this community with a very specific set of needs, sometimes feeling isolated and alone. And within a year or two, I've seen you build friendships and connections that are deep and supportive, a part of the scaffolding you never imagined for yourself, maybe, when you first arrived. And just to be clear, this gives me great joy. And I've done this with my own life too. I've told this story before, but it bears repeating. When I first found a Unitarian Universalist church, I was living in a community house with my then boyfriend and 3 of his best friends. We were a tight-knit community, but we were also a small community. I knew that I needed a bigger and broader system of support for myself, and I happened to find a UU church that fit me just right. It helped me a ton to realize that my relationship and my roommates weren't my only places of support, especially when my partner and I broke up. If my only scaffolding had been those 4 people I was living with, my whole building might have fallen down during the breakup. But fortunately, I had a lot of other scaffolding, including my chosen family and my church community. Just these past few months alone, I've been seeing some of this scaffolding continue to be built here. I've noticed it and I've heard about it happening during our monthly parents' circle, where many of our parents gather together to share more of the joys and the challenges of parenthood. I've been a witness to the moment where someone saw the extent of her support network at the memorial service for her late husband. And we also just had a remembrance gathering for one of the pillars of this church community. Through the sharing of stories, I found out about the many, many ways that he had served this community over the course of 40 years. It could be argued that he is one of the reasons, or the main reasons, we have the ritual and rhythm of a Wednesday night dinner at all. He was part of the scaffolding that kept up the walls of community and connection through the years. Just last month, we had a 5th Sunday, which is rare. We don't have a regular welcome team that greets on the 5th Sundays of the month. So I put out an email to many people asking for help, and I got a lot of responses. More than I needed, actually. I was grateful for that strength of response, but what we really need is people who are willing to serve as a regular monthly member of a welcome team. Most of our teams still need about 2 to 3 more people on them. And to those of you who serve on these teams regularly, whether captain or member, thank you. You are the scaffolding holding up the wall of our welcome. But as I said before, we are still in that stage of rebuilding. Or as James Luther Adams describes it, if we are to make changes in the world, to create a just society, we must organize ourselves. In that spirit, we need help from some of you, especially those of you who have skills in organizing, to help us coordinate our efforts, both our efforts to grow our souls and our efforts to serve the world. We still need a whole slew of people willing to contribute a plank or 2 of scaffolding. Thank you, first of all, to all of you who have already stepped up in some way or another. For those of you still looking for a way to get involved, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. We still need more volunteers to make our beloved coffee on Sunday mornings. We need cookie bakers, more helpers for our Wednesday night cook teams, and we still have room for a few more people willing to serve on our support network team. We did have someone step up recently who was willing to coordinate that team, and now we need to fill the team with people who would be willing to occasionally deliver meals, offer rides, or help with chores. If that is you, please let me know, or sign up on the clipboard in the social hall next to the pastoral care bulletin board. But this is where I think back to the story that Nico shared with us earlier. Just like every family in that Transylvanian village brought a lamp with them to light up the sanctuary and to contribute to the thriving of the whole community, so also does each of you bring your gifts and skills and talents into this community space. It's important to pause and celebrate what those gifts and talents are, and it's powerful to name them and hear them named. Earlier in this service, we commissioned the pastoral care team, who are bringing their skills and talents to the care of this community. But in our lamps, we also bring with us our needs and our concerns, and this is the crucial part. The pastoral care team would have nothing to do if we didn't hear from all of you when you are in times of need or crisis. If you don't let us know, for instance, that you're having a surgery and hence will be unable to drive or perform a few chores in your house, then the support network team won't be able to offer their support. What is it that we bring with us into this community? We bring our passions, our gifts, our needs, our burdens, our questions. We bring a lot with us, don't we? But for now, for just a minute, let's take some time to think of our passions and skills and gifts. There's a few baskets scattered throughout the pews, and those baskets hold a few writing utensils and some paper flames. On this flame, I invite you to write what it is that you're bringing with you in your lamp. What is it that you choose to bring to this community? In just a few moments, I'll be inviting you all to bring that flame forward here to the center table to place it in the basket. But for now, just take some time to think and to write. I'll call you back in a minute or two. I hope that was enough time to think and do some writing. So for just a minute, turn to a neighbor and share with them a bit about what you wrote. And if you're on Zoom, feel free to put that in the chat box. So as our children and youth were gone during the service here, they were also taking a moment to write down what it is that they carry with them in their lamps and when they come to this place. And now they're back with us to participate in the rest of the service. In a moment, I'm going to invite our youngsters to come forward and put your paper flames right here into the basket at the front. And then feel free to go and find your adults. After all the children and youth have added their flames to the basket, we invite everyone else to come forward and add their paper flames as well. Children, feel free to accompany your adults as they do that. You can show them how it's done. And now let's bring our paper flames forward. I'm going to invite you to do it in silence and meditate on the depth of interdependence found here. Laura's going to play some traveling music. Take a moment just to take this in. All these flames underlit by our LED candles. I'm going to just share a few randomly here. Laughter, my voice plus a heart full of love. From the Zoom we have money, a listening ear and empathy, caring, welcome, listening, love, willingness to grow, love, smiles, open-mindedness, words of comfort and care, teaching, motivating others, writing, food and cooking support. I gotta dig for the bottom too a little bit, you know. Listening, organizing, planning, outreach. I love that. Listen, empathy, speak gently and firmly, compassion. We bring a lot with us into this space. Thank you for sharing. Our closing hymn is number 288 in the gray hardcover hymnal. You've been hearing the melody that Laura was playing, but now we get to add the words. So please rise and body your spirit, number 288. Build today, then, a firm base, foundations and the walls to hold together this beautiful community. Go in peace.